Hey folks, this is Matt once again. If you're wondering what I'm doing, something a little bit different. Always like to try different things, and that is, I don't know what the hell I'll call it, the IMDB Files or something like that. Anyway, pretty much picking a random year and going through the ratings. What films were rated the lowest that year, and sort of, I just going through a list of movies that were really low rated during the year. This one being 1996. Giving my thoughts or seeing what they're about, or so for those who want to join me, have fun. And maybe I picked this year because the number one lowest rated movie of 1996 is a piece of shit called Feeders, which I ranted on. It's still on my channel. That movie is a god awful, one of the worst movies of all time that I've seen. Honestly, that one, just watch my review. Just type Feeders Rambo Afterlife or go to my channel and type Feeders. It gets a 1.9, which even that's too long. That and the sequel. Shot in only 4 days in 1994. Makes perfect fucking sense. 1.9 is too low. Too low. Too high. God damn. This is my idea for doing a video at 1:30 in the morning. 1.9 is way too goddamn high. Two friends on a road trip pass through a town where aliens are landing and feeding upon some of the civilians. Yeah, some of the worst acting civilians of all time. Some softcore Skinamax Petticoat Planet gets a 2.2. You know when your movie's bad, Feeders, when a fucking softcore Petticoat Planet gets a higher rating than you. Because, like I said, it's a 2.2. Mash Crash lands on a western themed planet inhabited by beautiful women. Doesn't sound like a bad thing. Wow. Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace. I forgot that came out that year. Gets a 2.3 on IMDb. Yeah, there's a reason why. That was the one where you had Matt's Headroom himself, Matt Frewer, as Job. Like you can't even get Jeff Fahey back. I mean, that's bad. Because I like Jeff Fahey as an actor, but that guy does a lot of movies. He's done a lot of shitty movies, and you couldn't even get him back. So you had to get Matt Frewer. I mean, it made sense why you didn't get Pierce Brosnan, because I think by this time he did Goldeneye. But you didn't even get Jeff Fahey back. You had Matt Frewer. And then you got Patrick Bergen. Austin O'Brien came back because he had nothing to do, because after Last Action Hero, he's in Prehysteria. I'm sure there are people who remember Prehysteria. All three of you. His career was in the shitter. And this is funny. The director, Farhad Mann, which I'm curious, what is this guy going to do? He's going to do more movies. Wow. The director of Lawnmower Man 2 is going to direct a lot of stuff. Michael Davis does shoot him up. He can't get a directing job. Who knows? Maybe he quit or said fuck it. And that's sad. But hey, this guy could get a bunch of TV series and TV movies like In Her Mother's Footsteps and Devil Diary and episodes of The Listener and Jesus. He says he found himself locked out of the editing room by the producers who wanted a film which would appeal more to their target demographic, teenage boys. Teenage boys didn't give a fuck about that movie. Austin O'Brien's the only returning cast member from the first film. Yeah. Of course, I still don't blame Jeff Fahey for not doing it. I just remember the film being... It was so sad that I actually... I looked at a couple of these before I started doing this. And I had seen that. And when I said that before, it reminded me again that... First off, I forgot that it came out this year. Just, oh yeah, I did look into that before. And second off, I forgot that I reviewed this film. Just I remember previously that I had forgotten. That's how forgettable Lawnmower Man 2 is. It plays tricks with your mind and your brain cells. That I had reviewed that movie. It's still up on my channel, and god damn, it's a piece of shit. It's very cheap looking, and it's somehow Job is, well, they don't follow the ending of the first film, not really. And him wanting to use his VR to get people hooked in so he can become a god, and you are my followers, and this is the world you need to be, and took place in a future that was all fucked up. I mean, when you go from Lawnmower Man to Lawnmower Man 2, the future, I mean, world definitely changed in that universe pretty quickly. If you want me to go more detail on Lawnmower Man 2, I did review the film. It's still on my channel. Just type it in. Just type in Lawnmower Man on my channel, or type in Lawnmower Man 2 Ramble After Life. I'm curious to see what all effects, no plot, acting that puts a shame on Hollywood and makes us have to rethink this whole movie business. Directing that could better be handled by a 6-year-old, horrible writing, and a lame computer dork of a plot. And I liked the first Lawnmower Man, but yeah, sequel was shit. Santa with Muscles 2.3. It's a movie about an evil millionaire played by Hulk Hogan who gets amnesia and then believes that he's Santa Claus. Yeah, his film career went right in the toilet. According to Business Week, the executive producer was Jordan Belfort, a subject of The Wolf of Wall Street. That movie, wow. The original author's draft was changed so much that he sued to have his name removed. Yeah, I'd sue for that too. I didn't see it. Fuck would I see Santa with muscles? I got what, a 2.3? 2.5. Ed. Do you remember Ed? A trained chimpanzee that plays third base for a minor league baseball team, starring Matt LeBlanc. 2.5. I have seen that. Once again, it was a long time ago. I remember the monkey was one of those. The chimpanzee is one of those chimpanzees that's obviously a guy in a suit. It's obviously a guy in a suit. It's obviously not a real chimpanzee. Matthew Perry, Matt LeBlanc's co-star from Friends, was considered for the lead role. And Ed watches an episode of Friends, the show that made Matt LeBlanc a star. Matt LeBlanc is not even one of those. Yeah, his career went in the shitter. I mean, he had Lost in Space. He had that TV show Joey that went nowhere. I think he was on a newer TV show that did decently. Let's see, the director. Who directed this? Bill Couture. I'm laughing because, obviously now you know what Ed is about. The guy who directed it, this is what he did previously. A documentary on Vietnam called Vietnam Requiem and Memorial Letters from American Soldiers. Dear America, Letters Home from Vietnam. So he did more than one TV documentary about Vietnam. And after this, did documentaries on the Alzheimer's Project, Letters to Jackie, Remembering President Kennedy, yeah, Ed kind of sticks out from all that stuff. Political and Vietnam, and then right there, like a sore thumb, doesn't like think about that. You're making a movie, a family film, obviously, and you get a guy who directed Vietnam documentaries. Man, the only one that thinks is kind of weird. The fuck. Number 6, and when I say number 6, this is like it goes in order. Like what's the lowest rated film on IMDb in 1996? Like 1 was Feeders, 2 Petticoat Planet, so on and so forth. Number 6, Red Ribbon Blues. After attending his 23rd funeral for a friend with AIDS, Troy and his friends hatch a plan to steal the HIV drugs that they need. What the fuck is this? And it has RuPaul in it. Paul Mercurio, Debbie Mazar, and RuPaul. The full summary. After attending his 23rd funeral for a friend with AIDS, Troy and his best friends hatch a plan to steal the HIV drugs that they need. One successful heist leads to another and another until they have so much inventory they decide to begin their own community distribution program. So, a friend of theirs died. So, he's had 23 people he know die from AIDS, which that's a wild statistic. To have 23 of your friends die from AIDS, that's and you're stealing HIV drugs and you don't give them out. So you don't have so what? You don't infect more people with AIDS? Or I don't give a fuck. Number 7, Masseuse, some softcore movie, 2.6. Number 8, Santa Claus, and Claus as in Claws, with Debbie Rochon. A B horror movie actress is stalked by a deranged fan bent on claiming her for himself. With all due respect to Debbie Rochon, it has most times if it has Debbie Rochon, it's a shitty movie. Not all the time, but about 99% of the time, if she's in a movie, it's a shitty movie. One movie I can think of that she was in that I liked was Abominable. But she's been in a lot of shitty movies. And she's not really that great of an actress either. Not the worst, but not that great. So, yeah. Number 9, a Frank Zattarino action sci-fi movie called Orion's Key. After 2 archaeologists discover an ancient alien artifact in Africa, they must run for their lives. Orion's Key. I guess also named Alien Chaser. 2 very different titles. Only film in the Project Shadow Chaser series not to be directed by John Ears. So it's part of that series. I still haven't seen those films, but I've heard of them. So Orion's Key, I guess, is part of that series. Huh. You never would have known from the fucking title of the movie. Some of these are just, they speak for themselves. And number 10, Kazam, which is a 2.8 with Shaquille O'Neal. Oh my god, really? Is that the guy who directed it? Paul Michael Glazer? Really? Starsky? Starsky directed that? He directed The Running Man. The Running Man is great. Running Man is still an awesome movie, and you directed Kazam? For fuck's sake. 2.8 made sense. That's when the Shaquille's a genie. Helps his little boy out. One critic has the audacity to put on the cover of the poster that's fun. IMDb says this is his last movie as a director. So it killed his film career, directing these feature theatrical movies. I don't know who the fuck thought it was a good idea to have Shaquille O'Neal act in movies. Well, they thought, well, Michael Jordan was in Space Jam. Yeah, and you had Looney Tunes as well. But for some reason they thought, well, let's put him in Kazam. Let's put him in fucking Steel. Let's put him in, what was that movie? Blue Chips. I don't know who the fuck they thought Shaq Attack could act. But hell, if you don't make a movie, why don't you just do fucking Shaq Fu, for fuck's sake? It'd be another shitty movie. I'm surprised they didn't do that. That's a fucking game that had kickstarted to be remade. Because we need more Shaq Fu fuckery. Thank God. Whew. That's a burden off my mind. Kazam 2.8. Deserves it. Number 11, wow, the first movie I can say so far that I don't think it deserves this low rating. 2.8. Carnosaur 3 Primal Species. I like that movie. Scott Valentine. Yeah, this actor who's no longer with us called Rick Dean. Yes, it's a very low budget film produced by Roger Corman. But it's commandos fighting dinosaurs with practical effects. As R-rated, so you get some gory bits, a head bitten off, practically. That alone, to me, is not a 2.8 worthy thing. When Carnosaur 3, 2.8, way too fucking low. Especially when the first film gets a higher rating. Not by much, but still. Carnosaur 1 is a piece of shit. With fucking Alfred E. Newman laughing in your face at the end. Don't believe me? It's your loss. Actually, if you don't watch it, it's your gain. Because you gained worthy time that you doing other shit than watching Carnosaur. But Carnosaur 3, what's wrong with it? Scott Valentine, I think he's fine. He's the tough commando guy. Yeah, it's low budget, so the dinosaurs are not going to look as good as Jurassic Park. But they're still practically done. I think they're, for a low budget, Roger Corman produced movie, I think they're fun. They're fun creatures. It's fun to see, yes, not as high-tech as Jurassic Park. But it's not 2.8 bad. For fuck's sake. Come on now. Carnosaur 3, I think, is a fun movie. I think I actually did review that film. Are there problems? Yeah. It's a low-budget film. Hell, I think when the T-Rex's head blows up at the end, practically, which looks cool, but you see if you have the body, you just see there's a stick or something there that they would have put the head on. Of course, you can think of it as the spine, but that's giving it a bit too much credit. So yeah, you just see flaws in its low budget. But 2.8 worthy, no. It's commandos with guns shooting at dinosaurs. And Scott Valentine, he does the gruff voice better than Christian Bale and Batman. I'm sorry, my honest opinion. Carnosaur 3 doesn't deserve to be that low. See, number 12, some film called Monty Boy. Young man's search for employment takes him on a surreal journey of self-discovery. Wow, that sounds so exciting. Some of these I'm not going to give too much a fuck about. Blood Money, something with James Brolin and Billy Drago. Hardened criminal Lester's in prison for armed robbery and murder when he gives a fuck. Some movie called My Uncle the Alien. The president's daughter uses her extraterrestrial influence to spare the fate of a children's shelter in Los Angeles. See what now? I mean, I guess a 3.1. I'm like, the president's daughter? You're the president's daughter. You're telling me that the president couldn't help you out? It's like, hey, I'm the president. Keep the shit open. No. The president's daughter can't, I guess, get help from her daddy. Who knows? Maybe it's the president who said, nope, can't do it. You're the president's daughter, and you need an alien's help to get shit done. President can't do shit. Well, yeah. It's par for the course. The Embalmer, 3.1. Wow. You actually had made a horror film about an embalmer. We had a dentist. We had a surgeon. We had Dr. Deardles, which is awesome. Now we have an embalmer. A deranged mortician preys on a group of teenage friends in a desperate attempt to obtain the bodily fluids needed to bring his family back to life. Good story, Embalmer. Good luck with that. It's a 3.1. Barbed Wire, 3.1. Goddamn. That's a film that, I swear, there's more action in the trailer than there is in the actual movie. And it's kind of a takeoff on Casablanca, from what I remember. And Pamela Anderson, she's not an action hero. And she's not an actress either. And what's sad is this guy directed Most Wanted, which I liked Most Wanted. He did that after this, so he got better. Teeny Ivory Wayans is one of those guys I think made some pretty good action movies. Low Down Dirty Shame, Most Wanted. Yes, I will put The Glimmer Man in there. I liked those movies. And they're fucked a little better than Barbed Wire. This guy directed Most Wanted. I liked that movie. I think that's a entertaining film. Most Wanted. Barbed Wire? No. The opening wet strip in which Barb dances in a strip club with her breasts hanging out of her rubber dress whilst being sprayed with water was suggested by Pamela Anderson after she was inspired by a nightmare she had in which she was being sprayed with champagne whilst performing a nasty dance. David Hodian, who is the director, who is under pressure to include more nudity, liked the idea and threw out the movie's original opening to include it. The original comic book ended its run shortly after the film's disappointing release. Wow, this killed a comic book series. That's how bad Barbed Wire is. It killed a comic book series. The film's producers took the unusual step of announcing there would be no sequel after its disappointing opening. In a 2002 interview, Pamela Anderson stated that she would not have been interested in one anyway, and that the late decision to include nudity and more violence was a mistake. It's not like that hurt the matters, Pamela. More tits and more violence? Bad? Bullshit. The trailer includes additional footage of the war flashback that didn't make the final cut. Well, maybe that's why I thought it had more action in the trailer than in the movie. Adam Rifkin was replaced as director with the less experienced David Hodian after producers decided early dailies were unsatisfactory. So David Hodian was not even the original director. Adam Rifkin. Who the hell is this guy? Wow, really? The guy that he directed Psycho Cop Returns, The Chase with Charlie Sheen, which I liked, Detroit Rock City, which I didn't see, Chillerama, which I did not like. He directed the Wadzilla segment, which that was like the worst segment of Chillerama, which was a anthology movie. And he wrote Mouse Hunt, which I remember not minding. Small Soldiers, I do watch it. Underdog, so wow. So that was the original director. That's funny. There's a movie in 1996 called Elektra, but this is one with Shannon Tweed. Erotic pleasure was never so deadly. Shannon Tweed, Elektra. Maybe it'd be better than the other Elektra movie. Oh shit, another Hulk Hogan film, The Secret Agent Club, which gets a 3.2. If I didn't say it, Barbed Wire gets a 3.1. The Embalmer 3.1. Elektra 3.2. Secret Agent Club 3.2. Another Hulk Hogan movie. This is what Hulk Hogan got by the. This is 1986. This is going to be around the time that he, becomes a bad guy with the NWO. 96. And maybe he said okay because he's doing fucking movies like these. Like Secret Agent Club. What the hell's the story on this? To the world. It's a big paragraph. I don't need to read that shit. I just Hulk Hogan. People think of him as a klutzy, overgrown toy seller whose wife passed away a few years ago. His only son doesn't get to see him very often because he's away on business trips. What no one knows is that his dad is a secret agent who flies all around the world, completing highly classified missions for a top secret peacekeeping agency. His dad returns from a mission, bringing with him a high-powered laser gun he stole from a treacherous female foreign guns dealer. Hulk Hogan tells his son the gun is only a toy, but his secret comes out when the dealer sends her henchmen to capture Ray and retrieve the gun. The nasty henchmen get Ray, but Jeremy escapes with the wanted firearm. After he learns how to use the laser gun, Jeremy gathers his friends, and together they hatch a clever plan to rescue Dad. Wow. Shows how shitty of a secret agent he is. His son has to rescue him with a laser gun. I guess there's a rap song at the end credits written by the guy who wrote the film. Oh god, this fucking movie. Force Warrior with Chuck Norris, Terry Kaiser from Weekend at Bernie's, and Max Gale. Is that the same Max Gale? I think so. Yeah, from DC Cab, which I liked. Oh god. It was so shitty I deleted the fucking page. Whoops. Let's do a little bit longer too. So Forest Warrior, that's the one where Chuck Norris is this guy who's sort of a spirit become because he can change himself into fucking bears and shit. Yes, he changed himself. He changed himself into bears. Into fucking bears. Fucking bears. And you're like, you fucking kidding me with the bears. And yeah, it was so crappy. I spasmed and deleted the fucking page. So now I'm trying to get my way back to it. But god damn, man. Let's see what's the official. Yeah, shape-shifting mountain man and a group of children team up to protect an enchanted forest from evil lumberjacks. Directed by Chuck Norris's brother, Aaron Norris. I'm sorry, Aaron Norris, you've done better movies. I'd even bring it up and list them. I like Hellbound. Sidekicks, I wish that was on DVD because it's the only Chuck Norris film I don't have. Well, I don't have Forrest Whitaker, fuck that, but I don't mind Sidekicks. Hitman, okay. I like Platoon Leader. I like Missing Action 3, I don't mind. He did Delta Force 2, which was okay. A lot better than Forest Warrior. That and Top Dog is his two worst films that guy directed. He's made some good ones in the past. Not Forest Warrior. It's a 3.2. Horrible fucking movie. And then he fucking changes to a fucking bear. Is that the bear that Steve Seagal was fighting on Deadly Ground? The hell else came out this year? Yeah, Alien Abduction, Intimate Secrets. So that you see on Skinamax. Just a 3.4. You know it's bad when a Chuck Norris film gets a lower rating than Alien Abduction, Intimate Secrets. 3.4, while Force Warrior got 3.2. Jesus. I mean, you got Spellbreakers, Secret of the Leprechauns with Gregory Smith, 3.4. You got a Stephen Baldwin film called Crime Time, gets a 3.4. Bobby Mahone is an actor playing a notorious serial killer on primetime TV. The show becomes a hit, which encourages the real-life murderer on whom it's based to go on a spree to make it on screen. You gotcha. Michael Paré did a TV movie called Carver's Gate about a world where people live in elevated cities. Good on you. A film called Zarkor the Invader. An average postal worker is informed by a tiny alien hologram which looks like a teenage girl. I guess a 3.6. And that, I don't even have to go on. Some film called Cyberstalker, which is a 3.6, which has Jeffrey Combs in it. Another Frank Zagarino film. And Joel Lara, who is an American, what was it? American Cyborg Steel Warrior? Warhead, 1996 movie, gets a 3.6. Terrorist seize an American nuclear missile site and threaten to launch the missiles at Washington. I'm sure it's really, really cheap. A Rutger Hauer film, which gets a 3.7. Rutger Hauer and Joan Chin. Which, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just wait 1 minute. Is that... Yeah, they were in wedlock or deadlock together. Rutger Hauer and Joan Chin. Yeah, it's wedlock, but I've also heard the name Deadlock as well. That's the one where it's Mimi Rogers, Rutger Hauer with the collars, and if they get too far away, you'll blow up. And I remember not minding that film. Gets a higher rating than this, but damn, a Rutger Hauer film. Three adventurers leave Moon City and head towards the asteroids in search of gold. Precious find, 3.7. You know what? I think that's about it for now. I've talked for quite a bit, so I'll leave it at that. But either way, thanks for watching. Take on the IMDB files. If you want to see more of me going through this, or even if not, maybe I'll do this for shits and giggles. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.